Open this up. Okay. Obviously, I've done this before, okay? No! I didn't even notice that! Oh, that's so cute!
There is currently a very real sense of corporate panic spreading through WNBA executive boardrooms. The polite and carefully managed off-season discussions about salary caps and league growth are effectively over. The league office has now stepped in and started what may become one of the most financially complex and strategically important periods in the history of professional women's sports. This situation is no longer about public relations narratives or emotional fan discussions. It is about corporate leverage, multi-million-dollar financial decisions, salary cap mathematics, and high-level business strategy. While mainstream sports media is presenting this moment as a historic milestone and a sign that the entire league is rising together, the underlying reality is far more complicated. What is quietly happening behind the scenes looks less like collective growth and more like a major power shift. At the center of this shift is the Indiana Fever, who are preparing for one of the most aggressive touring and exposure schedules in professional sports history. The schedule has now been released publicly, and when you look at the underlying financial and exposure mathematics behind it, the implications are extremely serious for the veteran teams and the traditional power structure of the league.
Now, she's headed to an NBA stadium near you. Yes, 39 out of the 44 games that will be played by the Indiana Fever all will be hosted at NBA arenas. Now, we've been seeing this trend grow since Caitlyn Clark been in the...
Now consider the undeniable financial dominance reflected in one specific number. 39 of 44 regular season games will be played inside large-scale NBA arenas. That is not a normal basketball schedule. It resembles a global superstar embarking on a full-scale arena tour, with opposing teams effectively serving as the opening act. This shift reveals a deeper macroeconomic reality. For years, many WNBA franchises operated in smaller, subsidized venues, often limiting revenue potential and relying on external financial support. But the landscape has changed dramatically. The arrival of Caitlyn Clark has fundamentally altered demand. Her impact at a collegiate level shattered viewership records and forced broadcasters and sponsors to reevaluate the league's commercial value. Now, when the Indiana Fever travel to opposing cities, the traditional small-capacity arenas are no longer viable. Consumer demand to see a play has surged to extraordinary levels, driving ticket prices on the secondary market into premium territory. For opposing franchises, choosing to keep games in smaller venues would mean sacrificing significant revenue, something ownership groups simply won't accept. As a result, teams are increasingly moving games into NBA-sized arenas, prioritizing profit over traditional competitive comfort. In doing so, they are effectively giving up elements of home court advantage in exchange for maximizing revenue, or to capitalize on what has become a powerful economic force driven by Clark's presence.
But going back to this, it says the Indiana Fever will play 39 of their 44 season games in the NBA arenas in 2026, with Atlanta becoming the fifth opponent, joining Chicago, Dallas, Las Vegas, and Toronto to move Fever matchups. So people thought...
Consider the precision of this corporate relocation pattern. Atlanta, Chicago, Dallas, Las Vegas, Toronto. These are not small or struggling markets. They are established, proud professional sports cities. Yet they are willingly stepping away from their own venues to accommodate the draw of a single opposing player. That reality carries a significant psychological weight for veteran athletes across the league. Imagine being a long-tenured player for the Atlanta Dream, having spent years competing in smaller, lower attendance environments, consistently pushing for greater local support. Suddenly, the only time you perform in front of a packed 18,000-seat arena is when Caitlyn Clark is on the opposing roster. The only time you access premier facilities is when facing the very player who has become the focal point of the league's economic surge. It creates a stark shift in perception, where one athlete becomes a central attraction and others are positioned within that orbit. Beyond ticket sales and venue changes, this situation also raises concerns about officiating and competitive balance. Last season, there were widespread debates about how physical play was managed, particularly in games involving Clark. Critics argued that inconsistent officiating allowed excessive contact, while others viewed it as part of the league's competitive intensity. Regardless of perspective, what's clear is that the financial and media stakes have risen dramatically. With the league's visibility and commercial value increasing, the margin for controversy, whether related to officiating, player treatment, or competitive fairness, has become much smaller. The entire landscape has shifted, and with it, the expectations placed on players, officials, and the league itself.
Time for the Caitlyn Clark hate train in the ref room to hit the WNBA season. We've been through a lot as fans. Hell, we didn't even know if the season was going to come back. All we ask as fans, at least me, is that y'all make the right calls. Make it fair.
There was a very clear warning delivered in that broadcast, and it was directed not just at fans but at league executives and officiating crews. The message was simple. The era of excessive cheap shots, reckless physical play, and inconsistent officiating cannot continue in a league that is now tied to multi-billion-dollar media investments. When television networks commit billions to broadcasting a sport, they are investing in elite performance, speed, skill, and star power, not constant stoppages and controversial physical play. From a business perspective, allowing poor officiating to damage the league's most marketable product would represent a serious organizational failure. The league office of the WNBA now has significantly higher financial stakes than ever before, and that means officiating standards, player protection, and game flow are no longer just competitive issues. They are business priorities. At the center of this entire shift is Caitlyn Clark, whose impact has clearly extended beyond normal rookie influence and into the broader sports business landscape. Her presence has driven television ratings, ticket sales, media coverage, and corporate sponsorship interest at a level rarely seen in women's basketball. As a result, the league is now operating in a different economic environment than it was just a few years ago. Whether people like the narrative or not, the financial reality is that star power drives media rights, sponsorships, and league growth. That does not diminish other players, but it does change the business structure of the league. While some veterans focus on media discussions and public narratives, Clark's impact is being felt in television contracts, arena sizes, sponsorship deals, and global visibility. That is where the real power shift in professional sports usually happens, not only on the court, but in boardrooms, media deals, and corporate partnerships.
Took a picture of you after one of your shit. All on camera, right on the baseline.
I didn't see that.
Do you have a relationship with her, or just?
Not really much, but I'm a big fan, for sure. I watch a lot of games. Definitely her hooping, it's great to watch. For sure gotta go on one.
Consider the magnitude of that global endorsement. When Luca Donuch, one of the most dominant and influential players in the NBA, openly acknowledges and studies a player's game, it signals a level of respect that transcends leagues. His recognition of Caitlyn Clark highlights her processing speed, offensive creativity, and overall impact on modern basketball. At that point, the conversation moved beyond internal league comparisons and into a global basketball context. Clark is no longer just part of the WNBA ecosystem. She is becoming a figure within the broader sports economy, interacting, directly or indirectly, with the most influential athletes and decision-makers in the game. This growing influence also aligns with increasing anticipation around the commercial potential, particularly in the global apparel market. Companies like Nike are known for carefully timed product launches, often building demand through limited information and strategic marketing. If and when a signature product tied to Clark is released, expectations are that it will generate significant consumer interest, driven by her visibility, performance, and expanding fan base. That said, projections about market impact should be viewed with balance. While her influence is clearly rising, the broader sports industry includes many established stars and brands competing at a global scale. Ultimately, what's happening reflects a shift in how value is created and recognized in modern sports. Performance, visibility, and marketability are becoming increasingly interconnected. Clark's rise illustrates how a player can influence not just games, but also media attention, sponsorship dynamics, and fan engagement. For the Indiana Fever and the league as a whole, this represents both an opportunity and a challenge. How to harness that momentum for long-term growth while maintaining competitive balance and respect across all players.